Laker fans, welcome to another preview video. Major matchup upcoming against the Phoenix Suns. This is a big one for the Lakers. Lakers really need to get this one on Sunday. Early start time, 12:30 on ABC. Season series currently, the Suns have beaten the Lakers 2 out of 3 times. The Lakers got the first matchup. The Suns have got the last 2, but teams look completely different. Well, the Lakers look very different. They have not played them since Luka Doncic has become a Laker. So kind of throw everything out the window, what we've seen so far against these two teams. But we're going to get to that in a second. It would feel wrong not to talk about the game, the Friday night game against the Denver Nuggets. I wrote here, valiant effort, but still a loss. You look at, there's not really a lot of moral victories in the NBA, considering that it is a loss. It's a loss against a team that you're trying to jump in the standings. So we're not going to sit here and all sing kumbaya, but I thought they frankly, they played their ass off. I mean, they gave it everything they had. Vegas gave them no shot, 15.5-point dogs going into the game. Frankly, the Lakers looked like they were trying to forfeit the game with everyone out. LeBron out, Luka out, Rui out, Jackson Hayes out, Dorian Finney-Smith out, Gabe Vincent out. I mean, that's 4 starters and 2 very good bench players that are out for the game. But the Lakers really played excellent ball. I mean, Austin Reaves, 37 points, just commanding the offense and really just kind of holding it down. Dalton Connect with 32. He was excellent. Jared Vanderbilt, what he was doing on the defensive side of the floor, also adding a few points as well, was big. And I think there's something there that we've seen this against Jokic. We saw this in the 123-100 victory that the Lakers had against Denver. We saw it in this game. There's something to be said about the kind of smaller, athletic, lengthy guards, kind of forwards that are playing Jokic instead of trying to play him straight up as a big for big, because that just doesn't really work. Like even Alex Len on him. Alex Len has really struggled, but going kind of big for big and trying to play straight up, it doesn't work. He's too skilled. There's something to pesky Vanderbilt just constantly right on his shirt, right everywhere he is. And you could see Jokic getting visibly frustrated last night in the game. I think there's something there. And I think when the Lakers are fully healthy, that they're going to give this Denver team a run for their money. I don't think Denver's the same as they were. They lost tonight to Washington. Jordan Poole, of all people, hit a 3-point in Denver game winner. So that was great. The Wizards helped the Lakers out, but they were an 11.5-point dog going into that game. Denver's got some problems. They're not as deep. And I think there's something there with the kind of lengthy Dorian Finney-Smith, Jared Vanderbilt type kind of forward bigs that maybe don't have the size of a Jokic, but defensively are really just causing a lot of problems for him. And I think that's something to watch heading forward. I think the Lakers are gonna play well against this Denver team. But again, still a loss, but I did think they played very, very hard. And who would have thought that was going to be a close game? I know I didn't. So credit to them for showing up and really giving it all they had. Now, heading to Phoenix, again, this is a big game for the Lakers, because even though they had a great effort, they still are on a 4-game losing streak. And these injuries couldn't have come at a worse time. The Lakers are currently a game and a half back of Houston, Denver, and Memphis for the 2, 3, and 4 spots. The Lakers are in the 5th spot right now. And the Warriors are only 2 games back. Now, the Lakers do have a tiebreaker against Golden State, which is very good. But the Warriors have been on a bit of a heater. They beat the Knicks tonight in Golden State. They're only 2 games back. This Suns team is in the 11th spot. They're a game and a half back of Dallas. This Suns team is tough to figure out, because heading into the year before Luka Doncic was a Laker and the whole scope of the franchise completely changed, I think a lot of the same questions that were brought up about the Lakers was, we know the star power. We know LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But do they have the depth to really go on a run? And we've seen that the last couple of years when the Lakers have lost to Denver in the playoffs. A lot of these same questions were asked about Phoenix. Was, you have Durant, you have Booker, and Beal has not played like the big 3 that they thought he was going to be when they acquired him from Washington. Do they have the depth to really go on a run? And I think we've seen so far this year they haven't. It's really been up to Booker and Durant dropping as many points as they can for them to be in these games. The bench has not given them a lot. I think it shows this in the points per game. Durant averages 27 points per game. Absolute baller. Devin Booker, 26 points per game. Beal has not had a good year, but he does average about 18 points per game. And then there's a massive drop-off. Then it's Grayson Allen with 10, who will not be playing in this game. And then Tyus Jones, who's now on the bench. They signed him to be the starting point guard. He's coming off the bench. He averages 10 points per game. And then everyone else is in single digits. So they don't get a lot of help from the bench. This is a game where I think the Lakers could really take advantage of that and get after them kind of 1 through 10, something the Suns aren't good at. But again, team you have to take very seriously because Durant and Booker can win them any game. They've kind of been every game to game, it's been tough to kind of get a read on the Suns. They beat Sacramento. They lost to Houston. They lost to Memphis. They beat Dallas. They lost to the Nuggets in overtime. Durant hit a game-tying three in that one, and it went to OT, and they ended up losing it. But I do think that they will end up getting in the playoffs, actually, because I think Dallas is in a bit of a free fall. There was a report today from ESPN that if they might not have enough players, they might have to start forfeiting games, which is kind of crazy to think that an NBA team is going to be forfeiting games. But still, I do think they get in probably as that 10 spot. But a game that the Lakers really need to take seriously, and the Lakers really need to win, because you look at the schedule, you have the Bucks, you have the Nuggets, you blew that game to Brooklyn, and you're sitting there with the injuries. And I know it would have been a different story had the Lakers been fully healthy. We know the Lakers can play with any team in the NBA. But the Lakers are falling down the standings a little bit. You don't want to go too far down because you got the Bucks and the Nuggets coming up again this week. And I think the Lakers are going to have some get back, and there's going to be a lot of revenge. I think a lot of the other pieces will be back. The Gabe Vincents, the Dorian Finney-Smiths. LeBron's still out for another week per Shams, but everyone's getting close to returning. I think there'll be some get back. But these next two games against the Suns and the Spurs, the Lakers are favored. The Lakers are going to be they're favored in this one. They're favored by 3.5. The point total set at 230.5. The Spurs game, that they're going to be favored. De'Aaron Fox is out for the year. Wembanyama is out for the year. We'll get to that tomorrow after the game. But these are games that you really need to win, assuming that the Bucks and the Nuggets game, still with LeBron out, are going to be tough ass for the Lakers. And maybe the Lakers can pick one off. Maybe they can pick both off. Hell, they almost beat Denver the other night. But these are games that the Lakers should win, and you don't want to be looking back at a serious losing streak, because if the Lakers drop these two games, you could be looking at an 8-game losing streak, and I don't care who's injured. That's just unacceptable. I'm looking at the injury report. Lakers are getting some good news. Luka Doncic will be back for this game. Thank God. And Jackson Hayes is finally back, which is going to be huge. He's been dealing with that right knee contusion, and we've seen in a lot of these matchups, especially that Bucks game, just the lack of size was killing the Lakers, and they haven't had that lob threat to really go to when the offense has been a little stale. Connect is probable. Dorian Finney-Smith and Gabe Vincent are both questionable. They're both questionable with left ankle injury management for DFS, and then Vincent left knee injury management. We'll see. Hopefully one of them can go. Hopefully. We'll see. It's a quick turnaround with the early start at 12:30 on Sunday, but we'll see. And then out, Rui is still out. He's going to be reevaluated later this week. And then LeBron is out another week per Shams, and then Kleber's out as well. Per Bleacher Report, JJ Redick told reporters prior to Friday's game against the Denver Nuggets that LeBron, Rui, and Jackson Hayes are all very close to returning. Hayes will be in this game. But the question posed to Redick, this is per Bleacher Report, was whether all three of those players would be able to return within the next 7 days. So his lack of specificity could be an attempt to hedge that just in case it takes longer than that. So that's per Bleacher Report again. We know Jackson Hayes is back. We need LeBron back as soon as possible. But this one should be a fun one. I really think this is going to be a great game. Star is going to show out. It's the really positive signs in the last couple games is that Austin Reaves really broke out of his shell. He was coming back from that injury, and it really wasn't kind of clicking the same as it was before. He was on that heater and dropped like 45 against the Pacers. But that's big news. It's going to be fun to see how they manage him and Luka. You're thinking what Brooklyn did, which was blitzing and rushing Luka every time and doubling him, and no one else can make a shot. Thinking that if they do that in this game tomorrow, the Lakers are going to be able to hit shots because Austin Reaves has been playing out of his mind. And hopefully if Gabe Vincent, DFS is there, a lot of guys are kind of contributing on the offensive end. Goodwin, you think the Lakers will be able to break that, but we'll see. I'm sure they'll kind of employ the same kind of strategy. But I think what the Lakers really need to do is get after, if you can get Durant or Booker in foul trouble, that is huge. Bradley Beal's not been the same. To round out the starting lineup, Mason Plumlee, veteran center, and then Ryan Dunn is a rookie guard who has actually taken Tyus Jones' job in the starting lineup for the Suns. They like him a lot. He kind of runs the offense. And on the bench, it's pretty short. Royce O'Neal, veteran forward. Oso Ighodaro is a young center out of Marquette. He'll spell Plumlee at times. Tyus Jones, as I mentioned, is the backup point guard for Ryan Dunn, and Colin Gillespie is kind of their sharpshooter 3. And then Bobo will get some time every now and then, a center if any of those guys get into foul trouble. And then on the Sun side of things, from the injury report, Grayson Allen is out. That's a big deal for them. He's a really good sharpshooting 3-pointer. Monte Morris is questionable with a back injury. That's another guard that if he's not playing, they really lack a lot of depth on the Phoenix end of thing. And then Nick Richard is probable with an ankle injury. So we'll see. Lakers need this win. Hopefully we can break this losing streak. Alan, I know, is going to get you guys on the post-game show. It'll be, I'm not sure if it's going to be right after the game or later on at night, but be tuned in for that. And again, as always, hopefully we're talking about a massive Laker W. So appreciate everyone for tuning in, and everyone have a good night, and go Lakers.